In a moment of profound planetary awakening, Barbara Lambert brings forth an Easter message unlike any other. Humanity stands at the threshold of 12 crystalline activations that will permanently shift consciousness. This Easter is not merely a celebration of resurrection from ancient texts. It is the collective resurrection of the living light body. According to the Pleiadians, a new crystalline matrix is weaving through Earth's core and humanity's DNA, preparing to rewrite our relationship with life itself. If you have felt the silent summons rising within your soul, this message is your confirmation. Your crystalline remembrance has already begun. Easter 2025. The portal of crystalline rebirth opens. This Easter, something ancient and future merges within the collective field. The portal opening is not symbolic. It is energetic, real, and undeniable for those tuned to higher frequencies. A crystalline rebirth stirs from deep within the Earth's own body. Barbara shares that this portal marks not just a change of season, but a profound initiation into a new species identity. We are not evolving into something foreign. We are returning to our original cosmic design, free of distortion. As the portal widens, souls with crystalline resonance are called to step forward, not with noise, but with presence. Barbara encourages you to feel the portal as a living energy moving through your cells. This rebirth does not demand effort, it invites surrender. Allowing the Easter energies to move through you activates codes long asleep, codes that remember not survival, but sovereign creation anchored in divine harmony. What are crystalline activations, and why now? Crystalline activations are not implants or overlays. They are organic soul technologies awakening from within, synchronized with Earth's own rise into 5D vibrational fields. They are not imposed by external forces. They are invitations returning from our own higher aspects. Barbara explains that these activations awaken because the planetary conditions, cosmic timings, and collective agreements have matured to a readiness point unseen for thousands of years. The slumber of human divinity ends now. Each activation opens a layer of the light body once shielded during ages of dense experience. They prepare your vessel to carry frequencies that match the consciousness of the new Earth without distortion or fatigue. Now, because of cosmic alignment and humanity's cumulative spiritual work, the crystalline activations can root and blossom. Barbara reminds us, this is not theoretical. It is an embodied experience you are already participating in, consciously or unconsciously. The Earth's crystalline grid is fully awakening. Hidden beneath tectonic plates and oceans, Earth has always carried a living crystalline network, a lattice of consciousness seeded by ancient civilizations and stellar ancestors. That grid is no longer dormant. It is humming into full resonance now. Barbara shares that as Earth's crystalline core activates, it naturally retunes human energy fields through resonance. This means your own crystalline body is being called to align, harmonize, and awaken in rhythm with Gaia's ascension. You may feel this awakening as surges of clarity, sudden releases of old pain, or intuitive leaps without logical cause. Earth's grid acts like a cosmic tuning fork, singing your soul back into original frequency. Connecting with natural environments, mountains, forests, rivers, accelerates this resonance. Barbara urges listeners to touch the Earth often now, not just with feet, but with conscious intent. The crystalline song is rising, and you are woven into its sacred music. The first activation. The first crystalline activation reawakens the untouched divine architecture encoded within you before incarnation into density. This blueprint holds the perfect pattern of your soul's true form, unmarred by trauma, distortion, or forgetting. Barbara explains that reclaiming this blueprint isn't about becoming something new. It's about peeling away everything false that obscured your radiant original self. It is a sacred unveiling, not a transformation through effort. As this activation unfolds, many experience deep grief, not because of loss, but because the remembrance of original innocence is so profound and overwhelming. It is a homecoming that floods every cell with recognition. This first step lays the foundation for all the others. Without reclaiming your original divine code, the higher activations cannot stabilize. Barbara reminds us, you are not building yourself. You are revealing what was always within, patiently waiting. The second activation. The second crystalline activation focuses on the cleansing of ancient memories embedded deep within the body's cellular waters. These are not just personal traumas. They include ancestral imprints, karmic residues, and collective wounds carried across generations. As this activation unfolds, old emotional patterns may resurface, not to rebind you, but to be rinsed away by pure crystalline light. The body releases density when honored, not resisted. Tears, sudden exhaustion, or unexpected forgiveness are signs the purification is succeeding. You are not being punished by remembering old pain. You are standing as the conscious witness to cycles your ancestors could not complete. This is sacred closure happening at the DNA level. Barbara describes the body as a living crystal chalice. As purification deepens, your very cells become translucent transmitters of higher octaves of love, clarity, and resilience. What was once heavy becomes a temple for divine embodiment. Purification is not about purging all flaws. It's about restoring flow, where memory, light, and spirit move together freely. Your body begins to sing again, carrying new codes for collective healing simply through your breath and presence. The third activation. This activation bursts open the multidimensional heart, extending its electromagnetic field beyond previous human capacity. The heart becomes not just an organ of feeling, but a radiant sphere of coherent intelligence interfacing with Earth and cosmos. When the heart sphere expands, your sense of separation begins dissolving. Compassion no longer feels like effort. It becomes the natural frequency you emit simply by existing. You recognize yourself mirrored in all beings, not philosophically, but vibrationally. Relationships transform. Some will deepen instantly. Others will dissolve with gentleness, no longer resonant. No judgment is needed, only the clarity that comes from heart-centered knowing beyond words or rationalizations. True heart expansion also brings grief, the grief of seeing the beauty you once shielded yourself from. Let the tears fall, for each tear cleanses another layer of false separation from your field. As the heart sphere stabilizes, you move from emotional reactivity to emotional sovereignty. No longer absorbing discord, you become a field that naturally harmonizes your environment, silently inviting others into resonance without coercion. The fourth activation. This activation infuses the pineal gland, the crystal palace within the brain, with higher geometries of light. It's not about seeing psychic images or predicting futures. It's about restoring pure inner vision aligned with universal truth. As illumination begins, inner perceptions sharpen. Symbols, dreams, and intuitive flashes arrive with greater precision. Yet this new vision doesn't seek entertainment. It seeks wisdom. The pineal becomes a cosmic lens, not a mere psychic window. You may experience temporary dizziness, cram pressure, or light sensitivity. These are signs of realignment. The old filters, fear, doubt, judgment, dissolve, making way for crystalline, seeing unmarred by distortion. Clarity becomes your native state. Not the clarity of facts, but the deeper clarity of knowing. Decisions simplify. Paths illuminate from within, rather than through external validation or desperate seeking. Through this activation, seeing is no longer about eyes. It's about the entire energetic field perceiving as one unified intelligence. You become the clear mirror in which the cosmos recognizes itself awakening through human form. The fifth activation. The throat center, long burdened by suppression, distortion, and miscommunication, now receives a crystalline recalibration. This activation doesn't merely amplify your voice, it aligns your expression with the vibrational truth of your soul. Authenticity flows without effort. You begin speaking not to persuade or defend, but simply to reveal light into the world. Every word, every silence becomes a conscious act of co-creation with the greater field. At first, you may feel silences growing longer. Old patterns of speaking to fill space or manipulate outcomes fall away. In their place rises sacred articulation, words that heal, awaken, and build resonance. This activation also empowers listening. Harmonized throat energy means hearing the true vibration beneath others' words, sensing where compassion is needed more than advice, where presence matters more than speech. As the throat portal stabilizes, you become a living note within the cosmic symphony. Your very voice becomes an instrument tuned to divine resonance, whether speaking aloud or simply being in vibrational integrity. The sixth activation. The solar plexus, often distorted by egoic control and survival fear, now undergoes a magnificent recalibration into its original design, radiant solar power aligned with divine will. This activation doesn't erase personal will, it purifies it. Your desires begin harmonizing effortlessly with higher purposes. You stop struggling to manifest and instead allow life to create through you with luminous precision. You may feel moments of identity dissolution, where old ambitions lose their emotional charge. This is not failure, it's the restoration of true power rooted not in control, but in coherent creation. As the solar disk brightens within your field, fear-based reactions diminish. Courage rises without aggression. Confidence flows without comparison. You remember that your power lies in radiance, not domination. From this recalibrated center, actions become more effective with less force. Your presence becomes catalytic. Choices that once required struggle now unfold naturally, aligned with the radiant pathways scripted by your higher crystalline self. The seventh activation. The root chakra, long associated with survival, now receives a profound crystalline recoding. No longer just a center for fear-based grounding, the root becomes a sacred foundation for sovereign embodiment on the new earth. This recoding stabilizes the body's connection to Earth's crystalline grid, weaving safety not through control but through frequency. You begin feeling anchored without needing to cling to old structures, possessions, or identities for validation. As this activation integrates, survival fear loosens its grip. You realize that true safety comes not from external conditions, but from the unshakable frequency you cultivate within your own field. You may feel waves of old ancestral survival programming rise and fall as the root chakra upgrades. Barbara explains this is not regression, it is detoxification. You are clearing eons of cellular fear that once felt inseparable from existence itself. When the crystalline root anchors fully, you move through life with grace under pressure. Grounded in trust, flexible in change, and alive to the magnetic pulse of Earth's evolving heartbeat, you walk as a bridge between spirit and form. The eighth activation. The eighth activation brings restoration to dormant DNA strands, light filaments encoded with sacred knowledge that were once sealed off during humanity's descent into density. These filaments hold keys to capacities we have only begun to imagine. This restoration is not a simple biological upgrade. It's a full soul-body resonance shift. your DNA begins to remember that it is not merely chemical, it is a liquid crystal transmitter for divine consciousness. As these filaments awaken, you may experience increased intuitive knowing, spontaneous healings, rapid shifts in perception, and enhanced creative abilities that seem to arise from nowhere. There can also be disorientation. Old frameworks of identity, thought, and limitation collapse as the DNA reweaves itself into higher geometries of function. Trust the process even when the mind struggles to understand. Over time, as the filaments fully reintegrate, you reclaim the living memory of yourself, not as a broken being seeking salvation, but as an eternal light explorer playing consciously across the evolving landscapes of form. The ninth activation. The ninth activation gently infuses the emotional body with crystalline intelligence, transforming reactive emotion into quantum-responsive awareness. Old emotional waves no longer crash chaotically, they move with clarity and multidimensional grace. This infusion doesn't erase emotions, it refines them into tools of evolutionary navigation. Joy deepens into bliss. Grief transforms into sacred honoring. Anger distills into pure discernment without violence. You begin feeling feelings without drowning in them. The emotional body becomes a crystal lake, reflecting experiences with accuracy, but no longer being owned or devoured by the energies passing through it. Through this infusion, compassion becomes an organic response, not a forced practice. Barbara shares that this new crystalline emotional body allows you to sense collective needs intuitively while maintaining personal energetic boundaries. The emotional body no longer tethers you to lower fields. Instead, it becomes a luminous interface, allowing your light body to engage Earth's evolutionary journey while remaining anchored in divine equilibrium. The 10th activation. The 10th activation initiates a holy marriage within, the merging of the sacred masculine and sacred feminine energies that have long been fractured by collective trauma. This is not metaphorical. It's an energetic synthesis coded into your being. The masculine essence stabilizes, holds presence, builds sacred structures. The feminine essence creates, nurtures, and dreams new realities into form. In balance, they generate limitless creation beyond polarity, beyond struggle. As these unity codes ignite, you may notice deep reconciliations happening internally. Old battles between action and being, force and surrender, dissolve into a new dance of mutual empowerment. Your relationships with others begin to shift, too. No longer projecting unmet aspects onto partners, you enter into sovereign partnership, whether romantically, professionally, or platonically, built on mutual wholeness rather than need. Unity within births unity without. Through this activation, you cease oscillating between extremes and become a living field where creation flows naturally, effortlessly bridging the cosmic and the human with every breath you take. The 11th activation. The 11th activation awakens your timeless nature, the remembrance of all versions of you across dimensions, timelines, and realities. Time collapses inward as the eternal self steps forward to lead the incarnation. This remembrance doesn't require mystical visions or past life downloads, though they may come. It is a quiet, profound knowing that you have always been, and always will be, a conscious thread within the infinite fabric of Source. As the timeless self emerges, fear of death, failure, or scarcity dissolves naturally. You begin operating from a frequency where presence becomes the only relevant currency of reality. You may experience lead-throughs, moments where ancient wisdom, forgotten skills, or future memories surface unbidden. These are not fantasies. They are fragments of your larger self reclaiming their place within your conscious field. Living as your timeless self means no longer waiting for permission to be great. You remember you came not to seek light, but to be the light across countless worlds, choosing once again to birth love into evolving form. The 12th activation. The 12th activation represents the culmination of the crystalline journey, the full soul merge where your eternal essence anchors permanently into your living human form. This is not symbolic, it is a literal vibrational fusion, creating a new species of consciousness on Earth. You are no longer seeking higher realms, you become a breathing portal for them, embodied and awake within matter. This soul merge brings a peace deeper than anything the personality mind could manufacture. It's not the absence of challenges, it's the presence of an unshakable frequency that moves through life without resistance. You operate from knowing, not reacting. Barbara teaches that you become the I Am presence flowing visibly in human shape. During this phase, you may notice strange expansions in perception, sensing timelines bifurcating, receiving information before asking, or merging with natural forces like rivers, winds, and starlight. This is not fantasy. It is your crystalline template harmonizing with the living field of creation. A deep tenderness often surfaces as the soul's love for the human self overflows into every cell. You realize that your flaws were never flaws. They were experiences needed to shape the vessel strong enough to carry divine fire without distortion. Compassion becomes automatic, effortless, profound. Barbara reminds us that the crystalline soul merge is not the end of evolution. It is the true beginning of conscious, interdimensional living. The body becomes a temple of starlight memory. Breathing itself feels different, more vibrant, more luminous, more alive with cosmic intelligence. You may grieve the loss of striving identity, no longer needing titles, achievements, or recognition to validate existence. This morning is sacred. It is the final shedding of illusions, allowing you to walk in simple majesty, grounded in the knowing that you are creation itself expressing uniquely through form. The resurrection of the light body. Long before it was wrapped in religious tradition, Easter represented the resurrection of the light body, the awakening of dormant divinity within humanity. Ancient wisdom keepers, from the Pleiadians to early Earth civilizations, encoded this season as a marker for crystalline rebirth. Barbara reveals that Easter's true meaning is not about external miracles, but about the inner resurrection of consciousness rising from density. The light body is not a fantasy or a distant goal. It is the original design of humanity, placed within your DNA by Source itself. This body is not made of flesh and bone alone. It is woven with living strands of photonic intelligence, designed to interact directly with cosmic fields. At Easter, solar and cosmic energies align perfectly to ignite dormant aspects of this luminous structure. As the planetary grids align with galactic heart pulses, the crystalline core of Earth also amplifies. This creates a unique energetic window where the inner light body can receive potent transmissions without interference. Barbara teaches that tuning into these energies during this time accelerates soul-body fusion exponentially, allowing for rapid embodiment of higher frequencies. Signs of light body activation during this portal may include sensations of expansion beyond your skin, vivid dreams involving ancient or celestial symbols, and spontaneous downloads of wisdom or clarity. These are not hallucinations. They are confirmations that your subtle architecture is coming online. Your human biology is learning to house consciousness in pure, less limited forms. Resurrection in this sense is not a one-time event, but a gradual blooming. Each act of forgiveness, surrender, joy, or self-remembrance clears density from the energy field, making space for more crystalline light to stabilize within. Barbara reminds us that resurrection is not about escaping life. It's about embodying more life than was ever thought possible in human form. There is also a communal aspect to this Easter resurrection. As more individuals activate their light bodies, collective resonance shifts. Crystalline frequencies ripple outward, softening collective fields of fear and division, and preparing Earth for mass vibrational elevation. Every individual's awakening supports the entire planetary rebirth without needing any outward fanfare. This year's Easter carries a potency unlike previous cycles. Due to the cumulative spiritual work humanity has undertaken and new cosmic streams pouring into Earth's atmosphere, the window for Lightbody resurrection is wide open. All it requires is conscious willingness to receive and anchor the new codes with humility and grace. Signs you are already receiving the crystalline activations. One of the most beautiful aspects of this transformation, Barbara shares, is that many souls are already undergoing the crystalline activations without fully realizing it. Subtle signs whisper to you, inviting you to notice the quantum blooming within. Awareness strengthens the process, allowing the activations to root deeper into your physical and energetic fields. You may notice heightened sensitivity, not only emotionally but physically and psychically. Lights feel brighter, sounds sharper, intuitions more vivid. This is not weakness. It is the crystalline grid within your body awakening, attuning you to the refined frequencies of the new Earth timeline. Another sign is the sudden dissolving of old desires. What once felt urgent or important may now feel irrelevant or hollow. Crystalline activation recalibrates your soul compass, making anything misaligned with your highest timeline lose its magnetic pull. You are being emptied, not abandoned. Many also experience moments of spontaneous gratitude, awe, or reverence for life without external triggers. These heart flares are not random. They are signs that your field is harmonizing with the love frequency encoded in the crystalline templates. The soul is beginning to sing again through your human form. Physical symptoms can accompany these shifts: tingling at the crown, surges of heat through the spine, occasional dizziness, heart palpitations without medical cause. These are manifestations of energy moving into places where density once ruled. Barbara reminds you, welcome these with gentleness, not fear. Dreams also become more potent. You may encounter symbols of sacred geometry, crystalline cities, luminous beings, or feel yourself flying through landscapes that vibrate with pure color and sound. These dreamscapes are not imagination. They are glimpses into the realms you are now resonating with. Your role as a living crystal anchor for the new Earth. With the activations underway, Barbara reveals that you are not merely an individual on a personal journey. You are a living crystalline anchor stabilizing the new Earth into form. Your very presence is part of the planetary architecture rising through grace. Being an anchor doesn't mean being passive. It means allowing the crystalline frequencies to root into your body, emotions, and thoughts so deeply that your entire field becomes a silent tuning fork for others. You radiate codes simply by breathing, walking, existing with coherence. Your life becomes a living grid point, connecting with others around the world in an invisible web of light. No organization or permission is needed. It is soul synchronized, orchestrated through higher intelligence. Wherever you go, you carry stabilization frequencies needed by that region or group. Anchors are often placed in locations where the contrast between old and new energies is strong. This can sometimes feel heavy, but Barbara reminds you that it is precisely where your light is needed most. Your inner stillness becomes a portal through which higher realities lead into this one. You are also a translator of frequencies. Your crystalline embodiment allows cosmic energies to pass into the collective consciousness in digestible forms through art, conversation, healing, leadership, silence. How you express doesn't matter as much as the purity of what you carry. There is no hierarchy among anchors. Some work visibly as teachers or guides. Others move quietly through daily life, radiating stabilization into spaces like shops, schools, hospitals, or homes. Every authentic anchor strengthens the grid, regardless of outward recognition. The more stabilized you become, the more you influence reality non-locally. Your frequency can calm cities, uplift communities, or shift dense fields simply through presence. Barbara teaches that this invisible work is the most critical labor of the new earth birthing. Ultimately, being a crystalline anchor is not about perfection, it's about presence. It's about standing, breathing, loving, and creating as a sovereign pillar of light in a world still learning to remember its divinity. You are not here to escape Earth. You are here to rebuild Eden through the living temple of your being.